or a prize for my new league, a belt or a ring or a nice trophy. My IDP guys went and had my back. The best swag online for champs is found on Trophy Smack. RING, that spells ring. TrophySmack.com has the bling. Good, so good, I have to sing. Go and check them out, they have everything. I can show that I'm the master of my craft. I'm a champion in fantasy and I won't let you forget that. RING, that spells ring. TrophySmack.com has the bling. Use promo code IDPGuys at checkout for a free ring on TrophySmack.com.
All right, welcome, boys and girls, to another episode of the IDP Plus podcast. And I am your host, Steve Thomason at Dynasty Santa on Twitter. And I am joined tonight by Shawn Connery. It is tonight. So Shawn cracks me up with your names that you use each time. So Shawn, let them know the Twitter handle.
Yes, actually, Shawn T here at Shawn8386 on the Twitter. And I am running out of Shawn names, so
yeah.
if anybody's got some good ones, throw them at
right. Yeah, you're gonna have to start digging deep in the barrel pretty soon here. Yeah, so Matt should most likely be back next week. He's a busy bee with work and travel right now. He's jet setting all over the literal globe, so super busy. But Shawn is an awesome, great co-host here. So we're gonna get into, what are we on, week 8? We're basically halfway. Halloween marks pretty much, or used to at least, mark the official halfway point. Now we're kind of like halfway and 30.33 repeating or some shit like that. So, but we made it. So with that being said, and the time, the spooky time of the year, for our YouTube viewers, we have a really great treat. I'm going to throw on a video here that our very own Brittany Foxworth made, a little 1-minute quick short talking about some potential defensive trade candidates. Now, we did actually have a handful of trades go down over the past day or so, but these are some people that Brittany thought might do well. So I'm going to play that here. If you're audio only, you're only going to hear the creepy, cool music that she put together, but we'll talk about the players afterwards here. So I'm going to fire that up. Chase Young. There you go. I'll just kind of talk over here while it's playing. We got Chase Young, potential trade. Mr. Patrick Surtain. Jalen Johnson. Josh Uche. My guy. He's one of my guys. Ryan Burns. He's been talked about being traded forever, I feel like. All right, so that was a really cool little short that Brittany put together. That I just wanted to show some extra love because I thought it was really neat. So yeah, those 4 players, none of them have been traded yet. I definitely think they were potential trades, and we still do have another day here. But as far as trades that we have seen gone down, Leonard Williams heads to the Seattle Seahawks. I think this was a great deal for the Giants. I mean, Leonard Williams is no spring chicken. I don't know his age off the top of my head here, right? But he's pushing 30 if he's not past 30 already. And they got like a second rounder plus some later picks. I mean, getting a second rounder for a aging defensive tackle, like I think that was a steal for the Giants. What about you?
Yeah, I thought the exact same thing when I seen it. I was like, wow, that dude is
second rounder.
Yeah, blew me away. I'm like, wow, that's a lot for a guy. Yeah, well, he's only 29, so he's not as old as I thought. But yeah,
getting up there in football years.
Yeah, football years are like dog years. This guy's old.
And then for the Giants. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, they, hopefully that means Azeez Ojulari might be coming back. I know he's probably still got another week or 2 on the IR. But I mean, then that interior, they got Dexter Lawrence, and you could pretty much throw anyone next to him, and they could give you some decent production there, both from an IDP and real football standpoint. So how about IDP implications for Williams and on the Seahawks side? Because, it was already a little bit crowded there, I feel like, and now it just gets worse. I know they lost to Chan Nwosu, but he was more of an outside edge rushing guy. They still had Darrell Taylor and Boy Mafe. Both had pretty good weeks actually this week for IDP. And on the inside, Jaron Reed, Draymond Jones doing their thing on the inside. Now Leonard Williams works into the fold. Like, I'm kind of nervous now about starting any of those three.
Yeah, absolutely. That really muddies it up, especially on the inside there with Jaron Reed and Draymond Jones. I don't know if that's going to become a rotation or if somebody's going to start sitting out. You think they would have got more of a pass rusher instead of an interior guy? So,
yeah,
I mean, he can kick it outside a bit, I guess, and maybe that's their plan. Maybe they kick him or Reed outside a little bit.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm staying away from it though. For IDP.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be interesting to see how it kind of works out, and even just from a top level overall snap count perspective, it's going to be really interesting to see how he gets worked into the fold there. So yeah, gets kind of messy there for IDP purposes. Not any strong. Jaron Reed was, has been crushing it. He missed like 1 or 2 games, but outside of that, he's been like awesome, especially for your DT required league. So yeah, I don't really know what to say right there. I think I'd probably still bet on Reed. I think this probably hurts Draymond Jones more than anything. Maybe they kind of felt like he's not giving them what they've been expecting after signing the lucrative free agent deal. So, because I don't know how you could be, down on Jaron Reed's play. So I'm thinking it's a Draymond Jones potential issue there. Let me see. I'm checking out grades really quick. Jaron Reed's got a fine grade. Draymond Jones only a little bit less than him. So yeah, really interesting move here, I think, to give up a 2nd round pick there. I guess I'm not up on their rush defense. I don't know if the rush defense has been that bad. I feel like it hasn't been anything like too horrible. I don't know that I remember my must start my running backs going against Seattle, but who knows?
Right.
I think the only other major trade we had was, well, not major, but the Eagles. My Birds sent a defensive tackle over to the Falcons. So as far as injuries, this is kind of a rough week from an injury perspective. We saw Grady Jarrett go down with an ACL. So that's pretty much the replacement they're looking for there. I think you'll see David Onyemata and Calais Campbell ramp up their playing time even more so. They both were getting decent playing time already, but Grady Jarrett was like an 80% defensive tackle, and which is pretty rare to find. So that's a big loss for Atlanta there. I know you sent me the injuries. Is there anybody that was lost like major for the year? Like we had a Nwosu last week. I know like Tremaine Edmonds knee injury missed basically a good chunk of the game yesterday. The news that I read said he avoided major knee injury, so he might be out a few weeks, but nothing like IR stint, maybe a short IR stint. We don't know that yet, but definitely not like basically he avoided season-ending injury. So Jack Sanborn's going to be relevant here for a couple of weeks at least. But was there anybody else that had like a major like out for the year, or like out for the foreseeable future that you saw?
We know Minka Fitzpatrick's going to be out at least Thursday night because it is a short week with his hamstring injury. I don't know how severe that is, if that's going to go into a multi-week thing. Al Woods tore his Achilles, which you weren't starting him in IDP anyway, but that was probably the worst one I've seen.
Okay.
There's a few others, but nothing as far as long-term.
Gotcha. All right. So yeah, we avoided major stuff. I think Tremaine Edmonds and Minka Fitzpatrick there were probably the two that are the most immediate impactful injuries that you're going to need replacements for sure for at least this coming week. So we're looking at Jack Sanborn, DeMonte Casey, and maybe Keanu Neal ramping up their snaps also. Those are probably your if you're looking for the same team replacements to go to. But all right, well, we're gonna jump right into the games here now. Starting with we've got the Bucs and the Bills from Thursday night. So this one was, interesting. We had 69 nice snaps available to the Bucs and 68 available to the Bills, which is pretty good. That's slightly higher than average, just about a tick high. And we had some pretty decent IDP games here at the top, and then we kind of trail off. So Jamel Dean was the big winner with of course, this is IDP Invitational scoring. If you'd like to play next year, we were up to 144 teams this year. So you got to head on over to www.idpguys.org. Not only should you become a subscriber by using the IDP Plus Pod discount code, which will give you 10% off any membership level, but you should be signing up for the 2024 IDP Invitational, which is completely free. To mix sort of like a hybrid of Scott Fishbowl, plus we add in IDP players for a full 22-man starting fantasy lineup there. It's 11 on offense, super flex with 11 on defense. So really cool, fun tournament. We do it to benefit autism, but you're of course welcome to donate to any charity of any cause that hits close to home for you. So with our scoring, that is cornerback enhanced, where corners get an extra half point for tackles as well as an extra half point for defended passes. So we saw Jamel Dean play 100% of the snaps, come away with 25 points this week. Ryan Neal, the safety, 23 points on 100% of snaps. That should be 10 tackles, not one. I hate when it does that. So 13 total tackles for Ryan Neal. He was all over the place. Right alongside him, Levante David, 21 points, 100% of snaps. He had 14 tackles, 10 solos for Neal, and only 6 solos for Levante. Levante keeps, riding the hot streak right now. He's been overtaking Devin White, but Devin White still had an okay enough game. We'll get to him here shortly. Terrell Bernard had 18 points on 100% snaps, almost like a down game for him. We've come to expect so much, but hey, that's still a really nice game with 8 total tackles, and he defended 2 passes. Teron Johnson, the cornerback, 18 points on 100% snaps. You can see if you're watching here on YouTube, which we appreciate, subscribe, all that good stuff. You can see the top scorers are all playing 100% of snaps in this one. So this is a pretty close game for the most part as well. So it kind of makes sense. Jordan Poyer, the safety for the Bills, 15 points on 100% of snaps. Carlton Davis, the Bucs corner, 15 points, 100% of snaps. Here's our first kind of guy who scored well without playing a lot of snaps. Anthony Nelson, the defensive end. There was no Vita Vea this game, so there's just some more overall defensive line snaps and rotations to go around, and Nelson happened to get home for a sack this week. Also 4 tackles, pretty nice. I like Anthony Nelson from a talent standpoint. He's just kind of buried behind some talented players on that Bucs D with the role that he plays. So he happens to have a nice game this one. Definitely wouldn't go chasing that really for Anthony Nelson, but if injuries were to occur, he would be someone I would be paying attention to. There's Devin White with 14 points on 100% of snaps. Christian Benford, the Bills corner, 12.5 points on 100% of snaps. William Golston, the DT. So with Vita Vea out, this is actually a very good matchup. The Bucs aren't a great matchup for DT. So we were kind of saying, one of them might do something, but we have no idea who it's going to be. So William Golston happens to grab an interception in this one. No tackles, just 2 assists. Gets the interception and defends 2 passes. So again, another player you are not going to want to chase on the waiver wire. From there, it's going to bounce around. We saw Tyrell Dotson play 62% of the snaps, come away with 4 solos, 1 assist. he's I guess the LB2 again this week. Who knows from week to week at this point? But if we're paying attention to snaps, it appears to be Dodson right now. Ed Oliver did finally, make up for his zero burger, although he only had one solo, one assist, but did get a sack in this one. So a TFL and a QB hit to go all along with that. Played just 51% of the snaps. I would have liked to see that, be a lot larger. He was pushing like the 70s and I think even hit 80s a couple of times there. So if he can get those snaps growing, I think he'll be, back to a reliable IDP option there for a defensive tackle. Antoine Winfield played 100% snaps, but it was Ryan Neal in this one. Sometimes that just happens. So just 2 solos, 2 assists for Antoine Winfield, 8 points. We see Gregory Rousseau played 59% of snaps. No sack, but still had 2 solos, 1 assist, and 2 QB hits. So he almost got there. So that was nice for this one. But yeah, the Bucs had been not a great fantasy matchup for defensive ends. So tough to get much out of him this week. And then nobody else I really see there. Oh, Von Miller played 40%, so that's kind of creeping up. The all or nothing god AJ Epinesa had, I guess, sort of a middle of the road game. He doesn't usually do that. He's either 1 or 2 points or like 20, 30 points. So he did play 31% of snaps. So again, this is why we've been telling you not really to chase Epinesa, unless of course a best ball league, but 31% of snaps. He had 1 solo, 1 assist, 1 TFL, did get home for a sack, and the QB hit in this one. So kind of an Ed Oliver line, basically, only on 20% less snaps. So give me a guy like Ed Oliver over Epinesa going forward there. So, so those are the biggest names I think that are worth calling out as far as their production goes. Any takeaways from you on this one for either side, like the Bills LB2 situation? We don't see Dorian Williams on here at all. I would have to look up what his snap share was, but he probably only played special teams if I were to guess. See. Bills snap counts. Okay. Dorian Williams. Yeah, see, I might have to go all the way to. Yeah, he did not play a snap on defense. He played 18 special team snaps, 69%. So that's crazy. So yeah, do you got anything on these guys? You're on mute.
Well, that would be why you didn't hear me a minute ago.
Yeah, I was like, I flicked over to the tab. I was like, is he saying anything?
Yeah. I was trying to tell you. I was like, yeah, Dorian didn't do anything.
Yeah,
I'm back, guys. All right, so yeah, Jamel Dean. Dude, he's been fantastic.
He's been
the last 2 weeks. That's 18 tackles in 2 games, and as long as he's healthy, he's a good streamer. He's probably one of the best ones you can get out there. Ryan Neal, great game for him. I'm with you there. Man, Tyrell Dodson, not a lot. There was nobody else that really took those snaps.
You can't trust him.
No. Yeah.
Now let me ask you, Ryan Neal or Antoine Winfield going forward?
I've been on Neal all season. I've got him everywhere.
Okay.
I've been, so I was big on him before the season kicked off.
Yeah.
But a lot of that had to do with Antoine Winfield coming out and saying, hey, I'm going to be playing deep, not doing anything. And then he just went and lit it up the first few weeks. I think what I see here is Taylor Rapp came in when Tyrell Dodson was out.
That makes sense. Yeah, 38% of the snaps. That almost works out. Yeah, 62 plus 38 is 100. So
yeah,
that totally makes sense.
Yeah. So we're good at math. I would have thought he would have done more with that.
Taylor Rapp.
That's not a lot for Rapp. Yeah.
So, yeah, just 2 solos and then nothing else. Or no, I'm sorry, 1 solo. Yeah.
Oh yeah, just 1. outside of that, I don't see anything really odd here. Devin White has been injured or kind of nursing an injury, playing with it, and David's been taken off. But this was actually a decent game for White, so maybe he's getting better. Maybe we'll start seeing his numbers kick back up.
Yeah, this is one of his better games. He's still been playing 100% of the snaps. Like I don't know what to say. He's one of these guys. I've used this phrase before. He's kind of like forcing you to start him because he's playing 100% of snaps, and like we know what he can do. And if you have him on your bench for one of those, breakout games, you're gonna feel like an idiot. So I get that, but like it all depends, I guess, on the size of your league. You obviously got to hold away. This wasn't a terrible game.
Well, that's the thing. I'm in some deep enough leagues where I have benched him, and but I had some better options. But you got to have those better options to where the guys I benched him for had really high floors. So even if he did pop off, it's not like I would have lost that many points. So but I think it's a foot injury or something like that that's been kind of hindering him some. So like I say, maybe he's picking back up.
Which a linebacker that relies on speed, a foot injury is not the greatest. So this kind of explains why we've been having a rough go of it with White. I think he's a hold. Yeah, if you have other options until we see him maybe kind of retake his production from David, maybe it's okay to leave him on the bench. So as far as waiver wire pickups, Dotson, if you're completely desperate, but he's a tackle guy and that's it. He's not really going to give you anything else. So you need big tackle games or that's it. A corner streamer that I like, and obviously in addition to Jamel Dean, was Dane Jackson, who's playing 100% of snaps. Like he's a really good player too. So of course, like corners and DBs are going to be very volatile, but he's a nice guy to look at as well. Beyond that, the rookie Kalijah Cansey, 59% of snaps and big old 0 in the stat book. Especially with Vita Vea out, that one was frustrating. If I was going to count on anyone to step up with Vea out, I would have thought it would be Cansey, and it was freaking William Golston and my sleeper of like deepest sleepers, Anthony Nelson, that kind of picked up the slack there. Joe Tryon, a very like mad game, 57% of snaps, 2 solos, and a QB hit. So nothing crazy to take away from here. So I'll flick to the next game here, which is Texans at Panthers. So we're definitely going to talk about Texans linebackers, like, because this is getting really freaking annoying right now. But Frankie Louvu came back to life with 30 points, 7 solos, 5 assists, 2 TFLs, got home for a sack, QB hit, and 2 passes defended. So played 100% of snaps, 30 points, back to the Frankie Louvu that we all, know and love from last year. So this one bothers me too. Jonathan freaking Greenard, 25 points, 66% of snaps, 3 solos, 3 assists, 2 TFLs, 2.5 freaking sacks, and 4 QB hits. I started Will Anderson everywhere. This was a plus matchup for defensive ends. Now, of course, like that meant Greenard could do this as well, but why can't we just space this out between them? Will Anderson's all the way down here with who played more snaps, 73%, but just 6 points, 2 solos, 1 assist, 1 TFL, no QB hit. So I'm getting a little frustrated with Will Anderson. Now, he started off nice week 1. I was playing matchups with him a little bit. This week, I'm like ready to go. I was like, if you would have flipped Will Anderson up with this stat line, I'd be like, yes, this is what I've been waiting for. And it's stupid Jonathan Greenard, who I hate. Very frustrating for that one for me. Just a major miss because I had Will Anderson really high in rankings and touting him. And so then Malik Collins, the defensive tackle, also got 2 sacks. I'm like, all these sacks for the Texans, right? And none of them can go to Will Anderson. Like, this is against Bryce Young. Like, everything was set up perfectly. So Collins, 72% of snaps, 2 solos, 5 assists. So a lot of tackles there for the defensive tackle. A TFL, the 2 sacks, and 3 QB hits. Shaq Griffin, the corner for the Texans, 20 points, 97% of snaps. Here's Denzel Perryman. Welcome back. 19 points. However, let's pump the brakes here. Just 48% of snaps, 6 solos, 3 assists, a TFL, a half sack, and a QB hit. So a really nice full stat line. However, just 48% of snaps. Now I'm going to jump to Blake Cashman, who had 16 points on 91% of snaps, 4 solos, an assist, 2 TFLs, 1 sack, another sack for the Texans. It goes to Blake freaking Cashman, a half a sack for Perryman. Like, this is just insane. And a QB hit for Cashman. And then we go all the way down to Henry 202, just 4 points, just 49% of snaps, 1 solo, 2 assists, and nothing else. So what the hell? I want to pause here with the stat rounding out. What the hell are we doing with Texans linebackers? I was told it was Henry 202 just a couple of weeks ago. Perryman was a seemingly healthy scratch, still working with this cast, I think. Like, and then Blake Cashman's still playing 91% of snaps. Like, I don't know what's going on the Texans, and I'm very annoyed by all of it.
Yeah, so Perryman was a healthy scratch, but they said they held him out to give him more time to heal, which told me that, the other guys were doing really good. We're not going to rush him back.
Right.
And then I guess Cashman was playing so well. I mean, he was great and good. And but we see what Perryman did with just 48%. I mean, he had like a normal game. So
he was their highest graded defensive player on this game was Perryman. So I guess who was third that I forgot to talk about? Christian Harris, who's all the way down here. 2 points on 16% of snaps, just 1 defended pass. See, this is why sometimes I can't take PFF seriously. When you play 16% of snaps, you record no tackles, and you defend 1 pass. How does that possibly earn you a grade of 88.9? He has nothing filled in for tackle, nothing for pass rush, an 84.2 for coverage, a 60.3 for run defense. How does that equal 88.9? So those are the times where I get a little like, all right, what are we doing? What's going on here? I don't understand this grading system.
Wow. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know.
So
I started Perryman, but I was nervous completely.
That was risky.
I did not feel good about it. It's super deep league, IDP only. I had no other option.
I hear you. Yeah, I think I want Perryman still the most out of all these guys. If he's going to be ramping up as the weeks go on here, and he already outproduced Cashman in half the snaps basically.
Right.
I definitely want Perryman moving forward, but it appears that Cashman might have at least earned that LB2 role, once Perryman is back to full health. So I guess you could start Perryman and Cashman, and apparently Jonathan Greener is just amazing, or just play all of your IDPs against Carolina, really, I think is the message, despite Will Anderson not having a good game, because although the safeties here didn't do anything. So while we keep going down the list here, Xavier Woods returns to 17 points on 100% of snaps. Very nice to see, the safeties getting healthy there in Carolina, despite Chin on IR. Jimmy Ward, just 13 points, but played 100% of snaps. Jalen Petrie, just 9 points, played 100% of snaps. So everything was just kind of eaten up in the first 2 levels of the defense, I think, this game. I mean, we saw the score wasn't very high, so it wasn't like there was a ton of passing going out to the secondary there. But at least they got past the corners or the linebackers or defensive line. So, you kind of just chalk that up to game script. I'm still playing. I still like both of those guys going forward, Jimmy Ward and, of course, Petrie. So, yeah, I don't know. This linebacker situation has got me pulling out my hair right now. I'm scared to start Perryman because of the snaps. I just don't like Blake Cashman. He's another guy that I'm just not. He's bad. He's objectively bad, at least up until this point. Yeah, maybe for IDP, fine. And yes, if he's getting the opportunity, it's tough to, saying that he's bad at football really holds no water when it comes to fantasy and IDP. So it's whatever. I just think eventually the people that are religiously starting him are going to get burned. and I can't swallow that personally with a guy like Cashman. So I'd rather just not have him at all, or I'm not starting him, and I'm going back to Perryman. So I don't know if you have anything else for this one.
Derek Brown, 90% of the snaps. I mean, that's a lot for a defensive tackle.
You love to see that.
Yeah, you're definitely starting him. Would have liked to have seen a better game for him.
With that snap count, yes.
Mm-hmm. Sam Franklin, 100%, did nothing.
Yeah, true. One solo, one assist. Yikes.
So we're hoping Von Bell comes back and we don't have to worry about Sam Franklin anymore. There's still no other linebacker to trust other than Frankie Luvu. Justin Houston was injured or got injured.
True.
The hamstring. But I mean, you're not starting him.
Brian Burns saved his day with a sack, but still very risky play here going forward. I don't know if he's, taking it easy, hoping that he gets traded or what. But Burns has been, kind of shaky all season, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. The best thing that could happen for him is to get traded out of there. Yeah, he just got to ride the wave with Will Anderson. Maybe I guess he's doing so well on his side that all the other guys are hitting home.
It's very possible. That's very possible. All right. That's it for that one. We will flick to the Rams and the Cowboys. Dude, I've only recommended Deron Bland, so at least the times that I've written up the Cowboys start sit, which I think have only been twice, both times I happen to really like Bland's matchup here. Both times pick 6, baby. So Deron Bland owners, like, you need to be toned into when I'm talking about him, because I'm 2 for 2 on recommending him as like a must start option as far as pick 6s. So that's been really fun to see. So Deron Bland up top, 36 points, 94% of snaps, had 6 solos, 1 assist, had the pick 6, 2 passes defended. I mean, this was kind of obvious though, right? I mean, slot corner playing Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua, tight end runs in the slot a lot. Like, it was fairly obvious. Now the pick 6 was just a nice little cherry on top, but shit, even if we just got the 6 and 1 solos to assist, that would have been a really nice game. So
you're still sitting there higher than Jordan Fuller, even with that. So yeah,
right behind him, 20.8 points for Fuller on the Rams side. We've been high on him all year, especially in the written content. Again, the full articles only available to subscribers. So if you want to use that IDP Plus Pod promo code, 10% off any membership level, you'll get, we're high on Jordan Fuller all year, 100% of snaps, 5 solos, 1 assist, 1 interception, 1 pass defended. Really nice game. And then from there, it kind of drops off. We did really like, so again, I wrote this game up. Aaron Donald was in my stud section. I'd kind of been down on him. I was like, he's kind of a streamer at this point, but I've been using these fancy points matchups, like points given up by position. And they're really like holding water for me week to week. Like they're I think they're a very valuable tool. So I really like Donald this week, and boom, 2 sacks. So hasn't done that for quite some time. 66% of snaps, 19 points. So really nice game. Now next week we're gonna have to look at the matchup again, see if it's worth using him. But this was definitely a good week. Parsons comes back to life after a couple down weeks. 15 points on 77% of snaps. Just 2 solos, but 2 TFLs, got home for the sack, 3 QB hits, and a pass defended. So nice little solid game from him. Still not worth being the number 1 overall IDP drafted. I think I'm already at this point validated with that take. No matter how he finishes at this point, like for the past like 4, 5, 6 weeks, he's been giving you pretty much stinkers or very low games. At least, again, not saying a bust, but was just trying to say that I wouldn't be taking him as the very first IDP. I really liked TJ Watt. I really liked Myles Garrett and the big linebackers ahead of Michael Parsons this year. So nice to see him at least give you something this week. Ernest Jones kind of down to 14 points, 98% of snaps. Really happy to see those snaps after he'd been battling injury the past couple of weeks. Really comes away with 5 solos, 3 assists, and 1 TFL, nothing else. So, that's a nice floor game, though. You can't really be too upset with a game like that. His counterpart, Christian Roseboom, the LB2, 13 points on 62% of snaps, 6 solos, 1 assist, and nothing else. So Roseboom's definitely, you got to keep your eye on him. If something were to happen to Jones, I think Roseboom gets vaulted into a really nice spot. So if you're in a really deep league and you want to, play it safe and basically handcuff Ernest Jones, then Christian Roseboom is definitely a guy to go get, prior to potentially an injury, major injury occurring to Ernest Jones there. Quentin Lake, we've been, I kind of wrote about how the Rams have kind of formed this similar to Dallas, sort of like a 3-headed monster at safety going forward. You do have 2 basically 100% snaps guys, but with their LB2 and Roseboom only playing in the 60s, Quentin Lake has been getting a lot of run as like the safety 3/LB2, kind of like what Dallas does there. And he's been really productive for the past couple of weeks. So you're definitely taking a risk if you need to start a guy like Quentin Lake at safety. But he's being very productive with his opportunities. So on just 49% of snaps, 4 solos and 2 passes defended. So that's 12 points on just 49% of snaps. That's really nice for that level. Here's the cheat code himself, Mr. Marquise Bell. If you don't know about this guy, he's a safety or a defensive back on most platforms, but he's basically the Cowboys linebacker 2 right now, with Leighton Vander Esch out, Damon Clark sliding into that LB1, and this guy Marquise Bell is basically playing the LB2 snaps. So yeah, if you're able to get, even though he played 73% of snaps, which isn't terrible, but also not, you'd like your LB2 to have hit that 80% mark is really what we like to see. Obviously very close there. So it's a nice little cheat code. We'd like to see some more production, but hey, 5 solos, 1 assist, but nothing else on the splash play side. So definitely someone to keep an eye out on your waivers if you need help. At defensive back, again, is sort of a cheat code there on most platforms. Donovan Wilson shows up as the Cowboys' top real safety with 11 points on 71% of snaps. There's Damon Clark. Despite getting 81% of the snaps, he was outproduced by Bell. Clark only had 4 solos, 2 assists, and nothing else. So all the people that were clamoring and loved Damon Clark, you get a very ho-hum game here in what could have been, should have been a really nice matchup. There's Russ Yeast. So there's the other Ram safety playing 100% of snaps, but only 4 solos, 1 assist, nothing else. So he's kind of that, I think like center field free safety position, which is sometimes very volatile when it comes to production. So kind of a down game for Russ Yeast. Michael Hack gets home for a sack again. Not the monster game that he had last year or last week, but 80% of snaps, 1 solo, 1 assist. The TFL, the QB hit, and the sack. Really nice to see. Dorrance Armstrong makes a random appearance with the sack. You're not really chasing that, just 50% of snaps. Osa Digizua, the defensive tackle, has had a really nice season. Just kind of a down game here, and 63% of snaps. I think they kind of, again, Dallas has been playing like weird games. They had this one in control. They either get blown out, or they're getting blown out, or they're getting upset, and their starters come out for that, all 3 of those reasons. So Digizua just 63% of snaps for 1 solo, 2 assists. Did have a QB hit. He'll have better days. I'm still riding with him in defensive tackle leagues. My guy that I got to talk about every week, Byron Young, the defensive end. Still, you love this snap count, 85%. The rookie for the Rams, but only 2 solos this week for 4 points, a down week, but Hecht got the sack. There will be better days for Byron Young as well, playing 85. And again, in dynasty leagues, I want to hammer home this guy. I love this guy. 3rd round draft capital, nothing to shake your nose at. And I just really like him in dynasty. So if people are getting sick of him with this down week, maybe you go after him. We do see Rashaan Evans show up. Just played 11% of snaps. That'll be interesting to see if he maybe starts to overtake Bell a little bit for that LB2 role, but by this indication, probably not. So that's the main guys. Who do you want to talk about?
Yeah, I'm not chasing after Rashaan Evans just yet. That was the blowout. These guys backups were coming in. Yeah. I'm with him, Byron Young. I mean, he's had such a good start to the season, and we're seeing Michael Hoyt kind of get the numbers that Young was getting earlier. So these two are kind of flopping back and forth. So they're both doing solid. I do like to see that. That's pretty much it. I mean, I think you called off everybody not to chase. Dorrance Armstrong, he's just not playing enough. I was expecting a good game for DeMarcus Lawrence this week, and he's just
very good call. Yeah, I didn't call him out. Just 50% of snaps.
I think he's done. He's old.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's slowing up. He's just not getting it done.
The Dallas safeties who aren't Marquise Bell, so the original three-headed monster, Wilson, Curse, and Hooker, are kind of like not giving us a lot of production lately. And again, I think
Curse has been frustrating because the matchups are there and he is not hitting. Hooker, we expect him to be kind of that third guy that wasn't expected to do as well. Wilson and Curse were the guys coming in, and man, they have just been so lackluster. It's definitely frustrating. I've moved on from both of them, actually. At safety, I need consistency, and they're just not giving it to me.
I mean, that's difficult in general for any defensive back, corners, or safeties to give you real consistency. But that's the message here, right? Is like move on from these guys. Like just because they were awesome for you last year means absolutely nothing. Don Wilson, who was getting 5 sacks last year, now he's not. Move on to the guys that are. Like it's, don't hold on to, previous production and guys that may have helped you win leagues and stuff. Like move on. That's the message here from exactly this kind of, and if they bounce back, great. But if you ride this out the whole season, I think you're going to be in trouble. So,
I mean, right now it's Bell's the guy you want.
Yeah, because he's playing a linebacker.
Because he's a linebacker, right? That's the guy you want.
Yeah, 100% agree. All right, so now we got Vikings and the Packers. My God. So after kind of a down week last week, Josh Metellus is atop the leaderboard here. 25.3 points, 99% snaps, 5 solos, 3 assists, the interception, and a pass defended. Gotta love it. I'm huge on this guy. Scooped him up in many, many places. So really enjoying the production that he's been giving me this year. Now, I'm going to have a sweet spot for him next year. However, if he starts producing like Curse and Wilson next year, I'm going to move on. But as of right now, and yes, Metellus, you should be rostering and starting over all 3 of the original Dallas safeties. So because he's basically playing linebacker too as well in this Minnesota defense. So that's what's really cool about him. I mean, not only linebacker, but they've got him literally everywhere. And playing 99% of snaps as a Swiss Army knife, like you can't ask for better production than that. So I'm just super excited about him going forward. So below him, we had Devondre Campbell with 25 points. So welcome back, Devondre Campbell, 93% of snaps. That should be a 10 solos, 4 assists, a QB hit. So really nice return game for him. Preston Smith below him, the edge rusher, and he does this. He completely disappears, and he has 25-point game. So 65% of snaps for Preston Smith, 2 solos, 3 assists, a TFL, 2 sacks, 4 QB hits, a pass defended, and a forced fumble. So would have liked to see that production maybe spread between him and Rashawn Gary, right? But Sometimes it just doesn't work out like that. Rashawn Gary, by the way, with the monster contract signing. So if you have him in Dynasty, he is obviously a major hold. I think he's, this year he's kind of been working back from the injury. Next year it is wheels up because I doubt Preston Smith is back next year. So these 25-point games are going to be much more frequent for Rashawn Gary next year. There's Cameron Bynum, just absolute stud this year. 20 points, 100% snaps, 6 solos, 1 assist, half a sack, a QB hit, 2 passes defended. Just another like waiver wire MVP for the year for Cameron Bynum. So your Lewis Cine shares in Dynasty are in major, major trouble.
They never should have been a thing.
Yeah, it's a first round, man. I bought in for the first round draft capital in a couple of weeks, but I've already moved on mostly. I think he's still hanging on a taxi squad in one of them just to see maybe they trade him or something. But yeah, not looking good for Lewis Cine at all. Yeah, looking like just a bad first round investment there. Quay Walker, a really nice game as well. 19 points on 100% of staff. 7 solos, 3 assists, and a pass defended. So hey, can't go wrong there. DJ Wanham, 16 points, 93% of snaps for the defensive end. Just 1 solo, but 2 assists, a TFL, 2 sacks, 3 QB hits. So a really nice game from him. I'm not the biggest fan, but you know what? With Davenport out or whatever Davenport is at this point, it's kind of hard to, look away from the opportunity of Wanham. Yeah, Davenport, just some of us keep doing it to ourselves because we like the pain, but it looks like Wanham's carved himself a nice little role there opposite Daniil Hunter, who is right below him, also 16 points, 91% of snaps, 3 solos, got himself a sack as well as 2 forced fumbles. So really nice game from Hunter there. Harrison Phillips, after a couple quiet weeks, makes a return, 16 points, 68% of snaps, 4 solos, 4 assists, a half of a sack for Phillips, and 2 QB hits. So, hey, if you were stuck with him through the low games, you were rewarded here as a defensive tackle, and that's going to happen just very much like your defensive backs. I mean, these guys are hard to give you consistency on a week-to-week basis. So, 68% of snaps for a DT is not horrible. You'd like to see it a little bit higher, but Phillips, can give us this kind of production here. So, Jordan Hicks, kind of a down game, 12 points. Did play 100% of snaps, 4 solos, 4 assists, but nothing else. Excuse me. It is what it is. He had a monster last week, so you kind of got to give him a pass for a down game, quote unquote, in this one. Same with Harrison Smith, 11 points, did play 100% snaps, 5 solos, 1 assist, but nothing else. So neither Hicks or Smith contributed in the big splash plays, and hey, that's going to happen from time to time. Kenny Clark, after a 0 burger last week, comes back with 11 points on the back of a sack. So it was nice to see him. Rudy Ford, a decent game, 10 points, 100% of snaps, 4 solos, 2 assists, nothing else to go with it. Here's Rashawn Gary at just 6 points, 64% of snaps, 2 solos, 1 assist, and a TFL, but nothing else to go with that. No sack. Devontae Wyatt, who I was surprised, I thought he had a really bad knee injury last week. He left like super early in the game. Plays through this one, 49% of snaps. Just 1 solo though, 1 QB hit, but did recover a fumble, so kind of saved his day there to a certain extent. I really like his talent. I think eventually he has the potential to be an IDP producer, but for right now, I'm kind of just not playing him. Jonathan Owens, who steps in for Darnell Savage, just 5 points, did play 100% snaps, but 2 solos, 1 assist, and nothing else. There's our guy, Ivan Pace, just 31% of snaps. He's basically been taken over by Josh Metellus. And then you got Lucas Van Ness, the rookie, just 36% of snaps. No tackles. He only had 1 pass defended. So again, next year, I think it's a little brighter for him, likely with Preston Smith gone. We can see him emerge. So don't get too worried about the lack of production from Van Ness this year from a dynasty standpoint. So anybody here that's striking you as far as like a waiver wire addition or someone that stands out to you, you know, aside from Metellus, who we've been trying to hammer so to people all year long. So if he happens to still be available in your league, you should be getting him. But how about anyone else?
I mean, Rudy Ford, I picked up in a lot of places. I don't know if he's still out there, but if he is, go grab him. He's had some really good games. And this is like a floor game for him so far this season. I mean,
which is a nice game.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Owens, that was a disappointment. I did pick him up in one league. Like to have seen more out of that, but Danielle Hunter, man, what a great season. 10 sacks. He's just turned 29, so he's been doing this forever. Like, he gets the sacks, he gets the tackles, and he's always overlooked by, you know, TJ Watt, Myles Garrett, you know, Max Crosby, Nick Bosa. They always go higher than him. He's always that guy you can get that's elite, but just a little later.
The name value isn't there.
Yeah. We get back to the IDP Invitational. I've got him every single year in that next group of guys, and he's always performed well. So I would go trade for him if I'm in Dynasty and I'm looking to if I just need an edge rusher, he's the guy I'm after right now. But as far as like waivers right now, I'm staying away from a lot of these guys, and I'm staying away from corners playing against Green Bay because that is not good.
Yikes. Yeah, that was bad. I totally agree. I think Rudy Ford is probably the biggest name from this game to go check out and maybe go acquire for your team. So that will bring us to the Saints and the Colts. So top scorer here in corner inflated scoring was Marshawn Lattimore, 26 points on 97% of snaps, 9 solos, a TFL, and a pass defended. Right behind him, the other corner for the Saints, Paulson Adebo, 23.7 points on 100% of snaps. Just 3 solos, but he had the interception to go along with 3 passes defended. If we flick down a little bit to Alontae Taylor, he's kind of taking the back seat with a healthy Adebo back. So just 6 points. Doug played 94% of snaps. And is there like slot guys? So I'm not sure why the production wasn't there. I mean, Josh Downs was catching passes and whatnot. So, but hey, sometimes it just rolls like that with your defensive backs. So only 6 points out of Taylor on 2 solos, 1 assist. Here comes Zaire Franklin, typical at the top, 22 points, 97% of snaps. You know, he's weekly must start. Demario Davis came away with this one over Pete Werner. So he had 21 points on 100% of snaps, 6 solos, 6 assists, and 1 QB hit and a pass defended. So filling up the stat sheet versus Warner, who had just 7 points on 85% of snaps, 3 solos, 1 assist, and in typical Pete Werner fashion, say it with me, friends, nothing else. He only gives you tackles, and I hate that about him. Plus only 85% of snaps. Like, another like meh game from Werner that people just absolutely love him. Shaq Leonard, 17 points, 83% of snaps. So nice to see him bouncing back a little bit here this year. We said he was I said he was washed, so maybe prove me wrong here a little bit. Carl Granderson just continues the amazing season. 17 points, 82% of snaps, 3 solos, 3 assists, a TFL, a sack, 3 QB hits. You love to see all that. Just keep starting Granderson with confidence. I mean, he's close to a must start at this point every week. I don't know how you feel about that, but he is
what Cam Jordan used to be.
Very good point.
So yeah, for me, he's a must start, and Cam Jordan is a not start.
Yeah, totally agree. Kenny Moore chipped in 14.5 points on 94%. Basically all tackles there, 7 combined tackles. Jordan Howden, I believe, took over for Marcus May in this one. So the safety for the Saints, 100% of snaps, 14 points, 4 solos, 4 assists, and a pass defended. So hey, if you're in desperate need, I don't really know what is going on there. I think we might need to research that one in the written content. Why was May like not playing?
I think he was injured.
Okay. So he had just come back from a suspension.
Yeah, I think he was questionable.
Okay.
Going in, but let's see. Yeah, hamstring and an illness. So he was a little sick, a little crampy. So yeah, he just sat out.
So maybe we're not rushing out to add Howden, but he actually has been, when he's been given opportunity, he's had some pretty good fantasy games so far this year. So I guess just keep your eyes on the injury status, and if you're totally desperate and May's not playing again next week, Howden could be a name to keep on your radar in incredibly deep leagues. DeForest Buckner has DeForest Buckner has a nice game with 13 points, 77% of snaps, got home for a sack, as well as forcing a fumble. So kind of saved his day there on a light tackle game, but nice game for him there. Kwity Paye, without having a sack, gives us 11 points on 76% of snaps, 4 solos, 2 assists, and a TFL. So hey, can't argue with that. Nice to see him chip in a nice fantasy game without having a sack this week. Julian Blackmon, the safety, just 8 points on 100% of snaps, 3 solos, 3 assists, a TFL, not much else to go with it. So after kind of a hot run there, Blackmon kind of cools off, and hey, these things happen. Couple of guys, nobody else got sacks in this one. Cam Jordan, again, 82% snaps, but just 2 solos, 2 assists with nothing else. So I don't see a whole lot of people I care about talking about. So any of the studs you want to talk through?
Julian Blackmon, most of his tackles came at the very end of the game. So he almost did nothing, if I'm not mistaken. So
that's scary.
that was a little worrisome. Shaq Leonard might be worth looking into again in your shallow leagues as a potential bye week fill in. We've seen his snaps increase here lately, so that could potentially be. I'm not going to tell you to go get him because I don't want to ruin somebody's day. There's still that chance he fizzles back out, but he's worth monitoring, looking into.
It's Pacino. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'd be a little wary for that too. And of course, it's on the week, right, when we return from Bipocalypse, right? Everybody's back, so you probably didn't need him. Now, next week, we have some teams on bye again. You might need him, and he'll either get injured or come away with a crappy game. So that's just pessimist Steve talking. I'm trying to be better with that, but with guys like Shaq Leonard, it's just so hard for me. The age, the injuries, it's so hard for me to want to bet on them right now. So I don't know. Give me Demario Davis over Shaq Leonard.
Right.
And give me both of them over Pete Warner.
Absolutely. I'll take Shaq Leonard over Pete Warner.
Nice.
I think a lot of this has to do with just that short passing attack by the Saints. 11. That's 11 combined tackles for Leonard and 14 for Franklin. I mean, it's a lot of dinks and dunks. They're short. They're the crazy runs with Taysom Hill. So
yeah.
The
most annoying offensive fantasy player of all time. I hate that guy. All right, that's going to take us to Dolphins and Patriots. So this is a very top-heavy game. So not a lot of IDP meat going around here because the Dolphins were scoring and the Patriots offense stinks and was stalling. So we had Kyle Duggar have a really nice game. So 31.5 points, 100% of snaps, 7 solos, 2 assists, a TFL, a sack, a QB hit, an interception, and a pass defended. So just one of those games after a pretty cold stretch, and we were down on Duggar. But the Dolphins are a really nice matchup for safeties, just with the way their offense operates. And I think Bill was kind of throwing the kitchen sink at them, trying to, from the defensive standpoint with all the injuries and everything, like, hey, Duggar, go, earn your paycheck this week, play your 100% snaps, and we actually got a good fantasy game out of him. So I think that's probably the best one we'll see from him all year, most likely, but so maybe temper expectations. Of course, people probably benched him this week too, of course. Just another one of those guys who's been kind of frustrating this year. Hey, really great to see Jalen Phillips right underneath Kyle Duggar with 21 points, 85% of snaps. Listen to these tackles, 7 solos, 1 assist, a TFL, got home for a sack, and a QB hit. So really great to see Jalen Phillips seemingly healthy, just all over the field, soaking up tackles, getting to the quarterback. Like, this is what we came to expect out of Phillips for the year. So again, could it have been matchup based? Probably, but we're gonna hope and pray that this kind of production keeps up. Christian Wilkins, now this is where the big drop off kind of occurs. 15 points, 87% of snaps. He got home for a sack though. Christian Barmore, 14 points on the back of the sack. Jalen Ramsey returns to play 92% of snaps. Somehow no tackles, but got an interception. He had one assisted tackle, but did get the interception. So that kind of saved his day. So I don't know what to do about him in fantasy. The snap count's really nice to see, but we'd like to see some more safer tackle forward production there. Kader Kohu, the other Miami corner, just continues to be rock freaking solid. If you want to talk about consistency from a corner position, this guy is probably the model of it so far this year. 13.5 points, 100% snaps, 4 solos, 1 TFL, and a pass defended. That you can't ask for much more than that. Brandon Jones forced into duty, 13 points on 100% of snaps, 4 solos, 3 assists, and a pass defended. We were missing Javon Holland this week, so that should have been Holland's production. Jones, who I was a fan of, but just has been kind of relegated to second stringer duty and only plays when there's an injury. So don't really go chasing that unless we find out that Holland is going to be out for an extended period of time. Mac Wilson appears on the board with 13 points on 58% of snaps due to Juwan Bentley going down. So Juwan Bentley down here, although was off to a really nice start with 6 total tackles on just 26% of snaps, but got injured and had to leave the game. I don't know about the severity. I think he has a chance to play next week. Maybe might miss 1 week. Nothing too crazy, I don't think, on Bentley's injury end. So unless you know anything about that.
Nah, I didn't hear anything major. I just know hamstring. I think he still has, I don't think it was very severe. I do think he
hamstrings
are
so. Yeah, there's such a wide, varying degree of severity there. So, who knows? So, yeah, unless Bentley's going to be out for a week, Mac Wilson is not someone I'm super interested in.
Still not going to chase that.
No.
And it would have to be such a deep league that I'll probably already give it a poke.
Right, like a 53-man contract league.
You're right.
Jelani Tavai with a stinker, kind of. 12 points, 94% of snaps. With playing that many snaps and with the opportunity with Bentley out, you would have expected a lot more, I think, from Tavai. So a guy that people were kind of chasing the points from a couple weeks ago. Just 3 solos, 4 assists, kind of helped him boost back up and did get a pass defended. So fine. Maybe I'm being a little harsh there, but just not a guy I like. Bradley Chubb got home for a sack on 81% of snaps. So love to see that. David Long, kind of a stinker, just 7 points on 89% of snaps. So he had been out injured and came back for this one, but only 3 solos, 1 assist. Again, kind of just the offensive ineptitude I would chalk that up to on the Patriots side. Our guy Anthony Jennings, 82% of snaps. We still keep saying, I think the big breakout game is still coming around the corner. He only had 2 solos, but did recover a fumble to save his day. I think the sacks are coming. I just, who knows when? Hopefully sooner than later. So yeah, anybody on here you want to talk about?
So Jennings, I went ahead and benched him in the league or two I got him in because the Dolphins
matchup this week.
Yeah, bad matchup. That's all that came down to. He'd been getting, about 5 tackles a game.
Mm-hmm.
With Phillips playing, we see Van Ginkel down to near nothing. So unless he's injured,
good point.
He's not worth holding on to. The way the season started, he was eating into David Long. And then when Phillips got injured, he took that spot. So I was a little concerned we would lose more David Long now with Phillips back, but that doesn't appear to be the case.
Yeah.
If Bradley Chubb is out there, that's 4 sacks in three weeks. So
he's getting hot.
And Miles Bryant was having a good game. He also left with a hamstring injury.
Oof.
That's why he was down to, I think, 51% there. So
51, yeah.
He's another guy I've been streaming a lot here recently.
Okay.
Because the Patriots like to get lit up.
Yeah.
Good
call.
Outside of that, the Brandon Jones thing, we've seen him come in for Deshaun Elliott and just look completely lost on the field. So as long as Elliott is there and Brandon Jones is the second safety, I think he would be safe to start.
Okay.
If an injury occurs, but outside of that, David Long, Jerome Baker, nothing great this week. Again, not a great matchup.
Right.
I think everything looks pretty much right.
We just got to keep our eyes on the injuries there. Bentley, Bryant, and then Holland, depending, if he's going to miss multiple weeks here. That could mean Brandon Jones could be worth a Hail Mary play.
Yeah, it'd have to be deep.
It's super deep. All right. Jets and Giants. This stinker of a game. Although the Jets just continue to play an enormous amount of IDP snaps. 75 available to this one. I think they're if they're not leading the league, they're in the top 2 or 3 of like defensive snaps played. So it's insane. You can just fire up almost all of your Jets at this point. But hey, in this one, we had Kayvon Thibodeau with a breakout game. Finally, it happened. 3 sacks, 3 QB hits, forced a fumble, 3 TFLs, 3 assists, and 6 solos for the defensive end edge rusher. So awesome to see that tackle for. Awesome to see the multiple sack game. Is it something that's going to happen every week? Obviously not. And he's been incredibly boomer bust. And I bet you most managers didn't have him in their starting lineup this week, unfortunately, when he goes nuclear like this. So 97% of the snaps played, that is that's kind of one of those guys for me that falls into the category of like he's almost forcing you to start him. So I'm kind of willing to take the bad with the good if this is going to be the good, if I can get another game like this out of him, or just at least some more consistency with like 1 sack a game with like 4 tackles. Like I'd be more than happy with that. So yeah, I don't know with those snaps. I think you got to start him if you bother to roster him. You got to roll him out there and just eat the shit games with the nuclear bombs like this one.
That's 8.5 sacks on the season. I mean, he's doing crushing. Okay with the sacks. It's just consistently and getting some tackles too. That's been his big problem.
Exactly. I liked it. So my stance was pre-draft and even post-draft because they were so close. I was a Thibodeau over Hutchinson guy. So hey, year 1 I was wrong, but hey, year 2 here we're kind of evening the score a little bit. So we'll see as their careers continue to go here. I mean, both are really good, dynasty assets to have, but just wanted on the record I was a Tibbs guy.
2 completely different players too.
I know. Yeah, Hutchinson doesn't play. I mean, Tibbs with these snaps is kind of insane.
They have nobody else.
Right. Yeah, very true. Below him, of course, here's the Jets linebackers. CJ Mosley, 24 points on 100% of snaps. Quincy Williams, 23 points, 97% of snaps. They're both basically must-start, auto-start guys going forward. Not a whole lot to say there. Jermaine Johnson, 23 points, 73% of snaps. 3 solos, 3 assists, 2 TFLs, 2 sacks, and 4 QB hits. So the young second-year men on both sides, both sidelines, really broke out in this one. In this kind of clunker of an overall game, these were some really nice. And this, by the way, folks, is why we play IDP, because when you have just absolute trash on the offensive side of the ball, especially on the Giants. What did they have? 2 passing yards or 7 passing yards, something like that total? Like, this is exactly why we play IDP, because you got guys like Thibodeau on the other side, putting up incredible fantasy games when people think, maybe aren't paying attention to that side of the ball. So, my guy, Bobby Okereke, 19 points, 100% snaps, 7 solos, 2 assists, 3 TFLs. So really nice game for Big Bobby. Tony Adams, who, has completely erased Adrian Amos from the picture when he is healthy, played 100% snaps. So he's another guy, waiver wire, if you're really desperate, deeper leagues, him, Jordan Whitehead right behind him. So 18 points for Adams, 16 for Whitehead. So they both kind of return to relevancy here in this one, and are pretty decent enough streaming options going forward. Dexter Lawrence below them, 15 points, 83% of snaps. He's going to have, it's either going to get better or a lot worse for Dexter Lawrence. I'm not totally sure, because will he get more attention and double teams from the offensive line, or will he just have more opportunity there with lesser talent next to him to just soak up tackles and maybe go after the quarterback a little bit more? So that's going to be an interesting one to see. Do you got a take on Dexter Lawrence for the people there with big Leonard Williams gone now?
I think that was a really good point, because Leonard Williams eats up a lot of space, and that is going to make it harder for Dexter Lawrence, and it could affect Thibodeau as well. We could see all these guys regress a bit, because who do you got now? Ashawn Robinson, the next guy up? He's old. So. He's a big guy, but he's no Leonard Williams. So
right.
I would start tempering expectations on these guys at least next week or next game or whatever. That was a really good point. Something I haven't quite considered myself yet.
Yeah. And I just don't know which one it's going to be, right? Because it could be, great for IDP fantasy production, or it could send him down, spiraling down to where we see Leonard Williams fantasy numbers here at 81% snaps played, but only 3 points with 1 assist and 1 pass defended. Like, that could easily be in Dexter Lawrence's future as well. So I'm going to try to play optimist Steve on this one and say that it's going to get better, but it's literally a 50-50 right now. And I'd be a little bit worried, especially if I'm streaming defensive tackle. I'm definitely going to be looking a lot closer at the fantasy points given up by position matchups going forward here for both Lawrence and, like you said, Thibodeau too. So
yeah, I think Lawrence gets hit the worst out of the group, because he will have to eat up more and probably get double teamed more. So Thibodeau is probably going to be okay. And if Ojulari comes back sometime, maybe that helps open that up as well. So we'll just have to wait and see on that.
As far as the rest of these guys, the only one I'm really super interested in talking about is Micah McFadden. Just 11 points, just 58% of snaps, 3 solos, 2 assists. Added a fumble recovery to kind of help save his day, I would say, but kind of not great to see the snap count decline to 58%. And it's not like, where's our guy Isaiah Simmons at 38%? I guess maybe they were splitting a little more, so that's a little concerning for all the Mike McFadden truthers out there. Not looking great in this one. So what else you got for this game?
My big pickup before this game was Jermaine Johnson.
Nice.
The Giants suck. Their offensive line is terrible. So I picked him up, and there was a league I actually picked up Quentin Jefferson. It was really deep, IDP only league, and I had to have a defensive tackle. He was the best option. So that paid off.
Nice.
Moral of the story, get your defensive line against the Giants. These guys are giving up sacks.
Yeah.
Even with only completing like 4 passes. So
Yeah.
I actually have a whole lot of IDP players in this game. So this was a game I was really watching, not on TV because I figured it would
Yeah.
be trash, and it was. But
Yeah.
I was definitely following closely because the linebackers especially have been fantastic. And Tony Adams is the safety I've had that I've held on to all season. If he's out there, he's been really solid as well. So he would be somebody to pick up if you need a safety. If he's out there, I kind of doubt he is, but if he is, I would grab him. Xavier McKinney has really let me down.
Oh, he's been having a very bad year.
I would drop him if I could, but there's nothing left. So I'm kind of forced to hold on to him and hope things get better.
I hear you. All righty. Our next one is Jaguars and the Steelers. Of course, Foye Luacon's right at the top there. We had Andrew Wingard, the safety, playing for an injured Andre Cisco. So that's why you see him up there this week. 21 points on 100% of snaps on the back of an interception. We guys got to watch to see Cisco's health. Don't chase this if Cisco's going to be back next week. If not, obviously he's got potentially viable replacement here with this stat line. So Cole Holcomb up there as usual. Glad to see his snap count, hovering at this 90% range. So he gave you a ton of tackles with a fumble recovery, 11 total, 7 solo. So you love that. Josh Allen, 2 sack games. So really nice to see him bouncing back here on 82% of snaps. So that's great. Demonte Casey, because Minka Fitzpatrick got injured in this one. So Casey comes away with 94% of snaps, 18.7 points on the back of an interception. So he's definitely someone to look at if Fitzpatrick is gonna miss time. So that's Demonte Casey is definitely I would say 1-for-1 Steelers replacement if you're looking to stick with the same team there. Devin Lloyd is definitely back, a solid game here, 18 points, 100% of snaps, 7 solos, 2 assists, and a pass defended. So nice little game there from Devin Lloyd. Here's another annoying guy, Elandon Roberts, the Pittsburgh linebacker, 18 points, 44% of snaps, 4 solos, 1 assist, 1 TFL, 1.5 sacks. Could have used that going to TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith this week. For some of my leagues, but no, it's Elandon freaking Roberts who gets 1.5 sacks, like 2 QB hits. Don't chase it. He stinks. Though that will even back out, but I hate that guy because I want Quan. I want a Quan, not even get the sacks, but the playing time. Like get him out. Right. Here's Keanu Neal. This is the other Steelers safety playing 97% of snaps. So again, kind of the Minka Fitzpatrick. He's going to chip in there. He had 7 solos and a fumble recovery. Alex Highsmith did have 11 points on 89% of snaps, so he's playing a ton. I don't know why these sacks just happen. This is why sacks are so crazy. It's just like touchdowns. They're not sticky. They're so random. Like, Highsmith has the playing time behind him, but just 3 solos, 1 assist, 1 TFL, a half of a sack, a QB hit there. So fine game, but would have liked to see some of that other production going to him. Or we jump down to TJ Watt, just 8 points, 79% of snaps. So not sure if he's, lingering with the injury and whatnot. Just 1 solo, 1 assist, also got a half of a sack, a QB hit, and a pass defended. So chock full on the splash plays, but the 1 solo, 1 assist really, really hurt this week. So Quan Alexander, he actually played more snaps than Elandon Roberts, which is even more frustrating. 54%, but only 2 solos and a forced fumble to go away with that 54% snap count. So beyond that, as far as like notable guys, Rayshon Jenkins, it was just an Andrew Wingard game. This one, Jenkins did play 100% snaps, but only 3 solos, nothing else. And he does that. He has really high highs and really low lows like this one. So you see anyone else on here?
Rookie Antonio Johnson. Check that out.
Yeah, the one snap, 1%.
The last Hail Mary of the game, and he picks off. So dynasty owners, chalk that up as a win. But just some bad games for some guys. But I don't think this was a great matchup for Jenkins. Or maybe we only expected one of them to shoot off on this. So Wingard, if Cisco's out, well, the Jaguars are on a bye, I think, this next week.
So probably nothing to worry about chasing there.
Right. I would expect Tyson Campbell to come back and Andre Cisco to come back because I think they were both close to coming back this week. So if anybody dropped either one of those, you might, if you got the room, stash them through the bye week or something. But Keanu Neal and DeMonte Casey, I would target. I would stream either one of them this week. We do know Fitzpatrick will be out Thursday night. It's short week. He's already been ruled out. So they're going against the Titans. Titans are not a great matchup at safety.
Very true.
But if Levis is starting again and this passing game opens up a little bit.
Maybe it will be.
Maybe, yeah. Or they're going to expose that game as a bit of a fraud and just eat him alive. So maybe not rush out and get either one of those safeties unless you're in a deep league and have to have one.
You're super desperate,
Yeah. Other than that, Joey Porter.
Trayvon Walker got a sack, had a TJ Watt like line though, with just one solo, one assist, TFL, the sack, 2 QB hits. So not a lot to go with it.
Josh Allen's just eating everything up. I think it's the big reason he's not popping off. He's right there with him as far as pressures go. He's just it's Allen. It's Allen looking for a contract right now. So he's
playing for that contract. We've been saying that all year long, baby. All righty. Now we're going to flip to the Falcons and Titans. Jeffrey Simmons with a monster game, 27 points, 79% of snaps, gets 2 sacks. We had some people in the Discord kind of panicking on Simmons. I think you did the write-up on this one going into the week. Like, don't do that. Don't panic. Don't drop. Keep starting. Keep playing. And here we go, rewarded with this one. Harold Landry, nice to see as well, coming back here. 22 points on 69% nice snaps. 2 sacks for him as well. Big Aziz Al-Shair, 21 points, 99% of snaps. Pretty much all tackles. Did have a fumble recovery there. But all around, really nice game from him. With Roger McCreary out, we had some interesting names at corner chipping in for the Titans. We had Christian Fulton as the first top scorer, 18 points, 5 solos, 3 assists, and a pass defended. We had a guy that I had never heard of, Eric Garrar, was the second highest Titans corner who scored points, 11 of them on 91% of snaps. So that's a name. Hopefully McCreary gets back soon, but the safeties had decent games on both sides. It was a Richie Grant game for Atlanta, 17 points, 100% of snaps. It was an Amani Hooker game for Tennessee, 16.7 points on 100% of snaps. So love to see that. Finally, Caden Ellis beats out Nathan Landman, 15 points for Ellis on 96% versus just 13 points for Landman on 82%. Take that, Landman. Still very close and still very annoying that he's taking production away from Ellis. A QB hit for Ellis this week, no sack yet. We're still waiting for that. What we came to know from him last year was his sack game, and it's just been non-existent this year. We saw, on the Atlanta side, Bud Dupree got a sack. Arnold Ebiketie got a sack. Lorenzo Carter did okay from a tackles perspective. We saw him get 4 solos and 2 QB hits. So, they were certainly pressuring Levis and got home a couple of times, which on a rookie quarterback, you're going to see sacks being taken there, but just unfortunately none for Ellis yet this year. Big Danico Autry got a sack on the Tennessee side. Jack Gibbons gave you a sack as the LB2 for the Titans. So on 75% of snaps, so nice to see that. And yeah, I'll let you take if there's anybody else you want to talk about from this one.
So Eric Gear may have been the safety, the other main safety in this game.
Okay.
I don't know who else was playing back there deep.
That's right.
Murphy Bunting played 100% as well. Then you had Elijah Bolden, Christian Fulton. All three of those played 100%. So I'm not too sure if he didn't play more deep safety. And
I will tell you in one second. It was Molden.
Okay.
It was Molden doing that.
Molden was the safety? Okay.
Gare was their slot corner this week.
Okay. So they switched those guys around.
Yeah.
That may be until they get Edmonds worked in, or if Kevon Wallace becomes a thing again. Good luck figuring it out. I doubt the Titans know.
Don't waste your time on any of them at this point. It's
until
what
we get
my
an
advice
answer.
would be.
Exactly. Big sack day for the Titans. So good to see the guys up front getting to it. Harold Landry, good to see him popping off again. That's
agreed.
Back-to-back games with sacks. So I think in the write-up I was talking about him starting to pick it up more again. He's another guy I picked up this past week because he's sitting out there on waivers. He's free. I'd say this line is healthy. They're energized, so I'm looking for him to have a good second half to the season. So we're just now getting back to him being healthy again, confident again, and seeing it pay off here. So if you can still get him, he might be worth a stash.
Absolutely.
Other than that, I'm staying away from these defensive backs for now.
Yeah. We gotta keep tracking these snap counts. So there's
I got
real
enough
good
problems right
there.
now. I don't need Titan corners screwing my life up.
Exactly. Good call. All right. That'll take us to Eagles and Commanders. I was really big on Kevin Byard coming to town, and I was starting him in a couple leagues right away. He did okay, but Reed Blankenship comes away as the top scorer here with 25.7, 100% of snaps. So I guess he's healthy. 7 solos, 2 assists, and the interception to go with the pass defended. Really, really nice to see. I think that's going to be a fun tandem, not only for my team, but for fantasy purposes as well. The Byard Blankenship combo there. So excited to see that. Big Nakobe Dean finally breaks out 25 points, 69% nice of snaps, 11 solos, 1 assist, 2 TFLs. So, hey, let's just see the snap count tick up a little bit more here. And I would say, let's roll him out with confidence. I'm still putting the brakes on a little bit because that snap count worries me. But hey, really nice performance here, despite it probably being on your bench. Cameron Curl, of course, up top, bounces back from a bad week, 17 points, 100% snaps. Sidney Brown getting some run as well. I saw him out there early, 2 TFLs early in the game. I guess he only got credited for 1, but he definitely hit someone. Maybe it was a no play, but I'm just 56. Yeah, go ahead.
I think he was playing in the slot when he was on the field.
Okay.
I think he spent a lot of his time in there. I don't know if that's going to be something going forward or if that's just game script for this week. I don't know. That'd be
you nailed it. That would be really good for Sidney Brown managers if he was playing in the slot, because he's probably not going to see a lot of time at either of the safety positions with a healthy Blankenship and Byard there. So let's hope. I think that would be good for the Eagles too. So let's hope. So yeah, unlimited snaps, 56%. He comes away with 7 solos, 1 assist, and 1 TFL for 16 points. Really nice. So yeah, I would in super deep leagues. He's probably already rostered, to be honest, because people loved him coming out of college there. But hey, check out, and he could be worth a nice little stash there in really deeper leagues. David Mayo, who filled in for Cody Barton, came away with a really nice game here. Outproduced Jamin Davis, who stinks on less snaps too. 87% for Mayo, 15 points, 6 solos, 3 assists. Hassan Reddick keeps the streak going, another sack in this one, 2 QB hits, and a forced fumble to go along with 3 solos, 82%. You're pretty much rolling him out there. He's on a roll right now. He's back. Yeah. The cast is off. We're good to go. Montez Sweat got home again for a sack. Just 67% of snaps. Would like to see that a little bit higher, but he managed to take away the sack there. Percy Butler, we'll put this in the write-up. Was kind of a Hail Mary play, but like he's playing 100% of snaps. Yes, sort of the free safety. But definitely a name we're going to keep hammering home to you here as long as Derek Forrest is out. So Percy Butler is that next man up. Playing next to Cameron Curl. This is not playing the advantageous roles and alignments that we like to see out of our safeties, but he's a body who's out there for a lot of snaps, getting opportunity one way or the other. So definitely a Hail Mary play almost every week for sure. Zach Cunningham is the clear LB2 over Nicholas Morrow. 12 points, 71% of snaps. That's actually 2 more % than Nakobe Dean played, but we see it. It's coming. The intersection is coming where Dean is being ramped up here. So Byard, 11 points, did play 100% of the snaps his first game. So you love to see that. 4 solos, 3 assists. If some of those assists go to solos, he's even nicer game. And no splash plays. We know he's a ball hawk, so we know those splash plays are coming. So yeah, I really like that tandem going forward. Jamin Davis, just the 7 points on 100% of snaps. No sack for him. 3 solos, one assist, and nothing else. We see how Hill get a sack again on just 21%. Like I don't know what's going on there. It's so annoying, especially if I flick down here to the bottom. Chase Young plays 79%, but just 1 solo, nothing else. Jalen Carter did leave with an injury. So hopefully he'll be back, but that's why he only played 24% of the snaps. And Josh Sweat, hey, he's been hot. You gotta give him a pass on the 2 points on 85% of snaps on this one. Same for Jonathan Allen. I know he shows some frustration in the locker room there, but just 3 points on 75% of snaps, and Deron Payne 3 points on 83% of snaps. But you know what? That interior Eagles offensive line is a tough matchup, so kind of to be expected for that one. So yeah, what do you got on this one?
The biggest thing I see is the Commanders only gave up 1 sack.
Very true. Very surprising.
Very surprising, because I thought for sure Reddick and Sweat were just gonna eat Sam Howell up this game. I really did. That was the biggest thing I took away from that. I don't know if it's rivalry games, in division games, are crazy sometimes.
Something in the air that.
Yeah, I mean, guys, let's pick it up. So I don't know if this offensive line finally figured it out, or if they just came to play this week. And that's been one of my go-to streams for edge rushers, is to go against the Commanders, because they've been giving up like 5-6 a game. Stinkers for Young, Payne, Allen. That was very unfortunate. I thought those guys would have done better. It looked like Chase Young was getting schooled out there.
Yeah.
From what I've seen. So it's good to see Montez Sweat keep it going. I think he's the only one you can consistently trust.
Agreed.
Sidney Brown. If he's out there, you redraft for sure. He's bound to be out there somewhere.
Yeah.
I would look into picking him up, and maybe starting him if he can keep up this slot play. That's very productive, playing up against the line there. Other than that, Benjamin St. Juice, he's another guy I like to stream. He's always got a pretty solid tackle floor.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, I think everything else you pretty much covered or is right where it should be. Yeah.
Yeah, looks good. A lot of expected performances outside of the duds we just touched on. So, well, that brings us to the Browns and the Seahawks. So, Jordan Brooks is back, baby. 23 points, 95% of snaps. That's got to be his highest of the year so far. Just 4 solos, but 6 assists, got home for the sack, 2 QB hits, and forced a fumble. Tops the scoring this week of this game. Boy Mafe right behind him, also 23 points on 74% of snaps. 3 solos, 5 assists, a TFL, also got a sack, 4 QB hits for Mafe, and a fumble recovery. I got to eat crow on Mafe. I was down on him. I didn't think he was very good, but I think it was health and development going on there, and he is really hitting a stride right now. So, especially with Uchenna Nwosu out for probably the rest of the year, Mafe is absolutely someone that needs to be rostered in close to any format outside of leagues that only start just one IDP. You got something on Mafe? You like him?
I still don't know what to think because, like you, I've been out on him.
Yeah.
I just don't follow the Seahawks enough to know.
Yeah, true.
And that's on me. But you know, I was expecting Daryl Taylor and Nwosu to be the guys, and then Reed came
I was
in.
more of a Taylor guy.
Taylor just disappeared.
He's still
up
good.
Until he just wasn't getting the playing time.
Yeah, and he was injured. He was battling some injuries.
Right. With the preseason, it was an arm or something, and then
Mafe just missed the game.
Just kind of took it, took all the playing time. So
he's running with the ball, that's for sure. I mean, he's second rounder. He's former second rounder. That's nothing to shake your finger at there. So,
right.
So yeah, definitely should be rostered in most of your leagues at this point. Martin Emerson, right behind. Yeah.
I did see Daryl Taylor was almost traded.
Oh, really?
Right before Nwosu got hurt. I don't know how true that was or to where, but I did see they were like this close to pulling the trigger on a trade, and then Nwosu got hurt. So,
damn, interesting. Then we got Martin Emerson, the Browns corner, 22 points, 84% snaps on the back of an interception. He's been lumpy all year. I wouldn't probably go chasing that despite the strong snap counts. Bobby Wagner finally bounces back here, 19 points, 100% snaps, only 3 solos and 1 assist, but gets a tackle for a loss as well as a pass defended. So, nice little bounce back game for Wagner there. He must have done something else that's not.
Yeah, I'm not.
He must have blocked like a kick or something. Hang on, I gotta check into that now because I'm like, wait, that's way too low. Something doesn't make sense. I'll have it for you here in about 30 seconds. Seattle. Okay, Bobby Wagner's 19 points.
He had 10 assists.
10 assists, not 1. Holy shit. Well, that explains it. 10. See, my report is screwing me here. So, yes, imagine if some of those assists converted to solos there. It would have been a really, really nice game. So, I would still consider that a bounce back. 13 total tackles if you're looking at that from an optimistic point of view. We saw Jamal Adams, 81% of snaps, 16 points. Very nice. Quandre Diggs right there with him, 14 points, 97% of snaps. Julian Love, 13 points on 67. So they all kind of chipped in. Now, Love's was on the back of an interception. So, had he not had that, would have been a really bad game. But hey, he got it. Myles Garrett played 91% of snaps, got home for a sack. Can't argue with that. 13 points. Juan Thornhill, 13 points on 100% of snaps. He's a nice little weekly streamer. Delpit continues to be hot and cold, 11 points, 98% of snaps, 5 solos, 1 assist, nothing else. So, he's kind of frustrating. Here's Daryl Taylor with the 11 points on just 59% of snaps, but did get home for the sack. Jeremiah Wusu-Koramoah, just 8 points, 59%. I'm still not touching this Browns linebacking situation. Anthony Walker played 74%, got 7 points. Nothing to really write home about. Tony Fields, we tried to tell you, don't chase him. 29% of snaps, just 3 points. He's not going to return. He's not going to get a scoop score every week. So hopefully you listen to us on that one. Zarius Smith, I think, left with an injury, so you'll have to monitor that. But again, he's been super mostly cold all year long, just 2 points on 62%. Although frustrated to see my guy Agbenio Conquerano not on here, didn't record a stat, with Smith going down. Hopefully that'll change going forward, but frustrating to see him not on this list at all. So who else do you got in this game?
So last week, I think we seen Julian Love and Jamal Adams both getting high percent. We see Julian Love drop back down a little bit here. So I think last week he was like 80-something, 90-something, something like that. He was high. So I'm still staying away from him right now just because of the high fluctuations. And without that interception, he was going to be so much lower. So I think it's kind of safe to drop him if you can, or bench him at least. I'm staying away from him either way. Somebody else got injured in this. Greg Newsome got injured with a groin injury. So I don't know if that had something to do with Bart Emerson doing better or getting more looks. Devin Witherspoon.
Witherspoon did nothing. Yeah.
That was the offense he was playing against. It was PJ Walker. So we'll expect better things from him. Delpit, he's killing me.
Yep. He's so hot and cold.
Yeah, it's not been great. He's been fairly consistent, but still staying away from these linebackers from Cleveland.
Yeah,
that's the best advice I can give you about those guys. Just completely stay away. None of them are worth having.
All right, totally agree. And that will take us to Ravens and Cardinals now. Brandon Stevens, nice little bounce back, 24.9 points, 100% of snaps on the back of an interception. Kyle Hamilton back up top. Like to see that, 22 points, 100% of snaps, 9 solos, 1 assist, and a TFL and a pass defended. This is what we want from Kyle Hamilton. Patrick Queen up there, 21 points, 100% of snaps, 9 solos, 2 assists, a TFL. Hey, really nice game from him. Michael Pierce, the Ravens defensive tackle, played 60% of snaps, comes away with a sack and a lot of other filling up the stat sheet here for 20 points. This will be his best game of the year. I wouldn't go chasing that at all. Justin Madubuike is the guy. Now, although he only played 58% this week, not totally sure why, but gets another sack from Madubuike. That's the guy you want. Pierce won't keep that up. Roquan Ho-Hum, 19 points, 100% of the snaps. All tackles this week, nothing else. But hey, 11 total tackles, 8 of them solo. Can't really sneeze at that. Kaiser White, another strong game, 17 points on 100% of snaps. 7 solos, 2 assists, and a TFL. Love to see that. Geno Stone continuing to rely on the big play. Did play 100% of snaps in relief of Marcus Williams and doing Marcus Williams things with it. So just 3 solos, 1 assist, but got the interception and the pass defended to give you 15.1 points. The Cardinals safeties, Jalen Thompson's back for 13 points on 98% of snaps. Buda Baker, second game in a row, a good enough fantasy performance, 11 points, and played 100% of snaps. We see BJ Ojolari come up for a sack on 38% of snaps. It's a different guy every week for the Cardinals, so you're not chasing that. Zaven Collins, no sack, but 8 points on 65% of snaps. Like, I'm done with him. Yeah, other than that,
I'm with you.
Impressive for Marlon Humphrey to play 100% of snaps and record no stats. So that's kind of annoying.
Yeah, absolutely.
Corner league. So who do you got on this one?
I owe everybody an apology for Kyle Hamilton. I have been bashing him for a while now. This is two straight solid games. So yay, y'all won.
He kind of deserved it though.
Yeah, he did terrible at the start. I mean, not terrible. He just wasn't good enough to justify where he was being drafted.
Yeah,
was my biggest problem. Justin Metabuke had another sack called back from penalty. So he is sitting at 6.5 right now.
Damn.
And it's under the radar. I mean, we've mentioned how well he's doing, but it's still going overlooked in a lot of leagues. He's doing really well.
Yeah.
And for those of you listening, I believe it was Kyle Hamilton that calls that penalty that brought that sack back.
No, there we go. Figures. Thanks a lot, Kyle.
Yeah, jerk. Another solid game for Kaiser White. We were expecting that. It was, pretty good matchup.
I'm rolling him out pretty much every week.
Yeah. He's been a great find late in the draft. He was not going very high at all if he was being drafted. BJ Ojulari getting a sack. That's cool.
I like it.
Yeah, can't trust any of them, but that's cool. We got it. That's pretty much it. Yeah, the studs were doing stud stuff. Nothing too crazy here.
Yeah, I mean, Dante's still the defensive tackle for the Cardinals, 1.5 sacks, but 49% of snaps. I'm not chasing that production. You know what I mean? Unless I'm totally desperate. So,
I can't even imagine the size of the league you would have to get Dante Stills
right
at 49% of snaps. Oh my gosh, I would like to be in that league though. That sounds like quite a challenge.
All right, that'll take us to the Chiefs and the Broncos upset of the week. But boy, do I have some guys that I love seeing up top here and some guys I hate seeing up top here. My guy George Karlaftis, I love seeing up top here. 28 points, 73% of snaps, 2.5 sacks to go with 4 solos, 3 assists, a TFL, 3 QB hits, and he forced a fumble. Just a monster breakout game. Probably on most people's benches, unfortunately for it. So that's frustrating. But we're going to hope that he continues that momentum here going forward with, the Chiefs, taking this loss here. There's Drew stinking tranquil, 99% of snaps, 27 points. He, of course, gets home for a sack. It's fine. With Bolton out, I can swallow it a little bit easily. More easily, but I just, I was fading him in most leagues because
he's like the only thing I got right in the start sit show this past Sunday, where I was like, I would not be scared to ship him out, like to start him. Yeah, I would because we've seen him do this, with Bolton out for a while. I would have no problem firing him up. Here we go. Yeah. Everything else I think I missed, but I got that one.
It's all right. Jaquan McMillan, the Denver slot corner, 24.5 points, 95% on the back of an interception mostly. Here's a guy who I have to eat some crow on. Baron freaking Browning up here. 59% of snaps played, 2 sacks. Against Patrick Mahomes, too, of all people, right? Like, that just tells you, this is why I'm going to double down. This was a total fluke. Don't chase it. He stinks. This was a weird game. I mean, when you have some of these guys, I mean, as much as I like George Karlaftis, he hasn't been doing great all year. He's up top here. Kind of a fluky game here with the weather and Mahomes being sick and whatnot. So I'm going to continue to fade Baron freaking Browning. 59% of snaps is fine. Cooper and Benito technically played more. They just didn't get the sacks this week. Or Cooper got half of a sack. But yeah, I don't know. Do you have takes on that whole group between Browning, Cooper, and Benito?
I hate it because I was riding Cooper and Benito for so long because we could pick them up and plug them in. I mean, Benito got 4 quarterback hits, so I mean he was right there too. And looking at this split, I mean 59%, 52%, 61%. It's a 3-man rotation right now.
So it's going to be a different guy every week.
Every week, it's going to piss us off.
If anybody's victory lapping Baron freaking Browning, I think that's a joke. Yeah, no thanks. Benito had the most pressures in this one, 9 to Browning's 6 and Cooper's 4. So he had the most pressures. Like you said, the QB hits, like PFF only scored him for 3. But yeah, it just doesn't get the sacks in this one. So that's how it goes with these edge rushers. So I'm still give me Nick Benito, rest of season if we're gonna have that conversation because screw Baron freaking Browning. Now, guy I do like seeing up here, my guy Leo Chenal, 23 points on 69%, nice of snaps. 6 solos, 4 assists, 2 TFLs. He got home for a sack. QB hit as well. Willie Gay did go down in this one. Not that I'm celebrating injury, but man, if it gives my guy Leo Chenal some opportunity here, I'm really happy for it because I'm a big fan. I would have rather see Tranquil go down and have it be Gay and Chenal taking over, but it just kind of broke this way. So Leo Chenal, you can go grab Baron Browning. I mean, he's in this rotation. It's pretty even. I just think, it's going to flip-flop every single week. But I want to go get Chenal. I want to go get Benito, Cooper, Browning, Karlaftis. You can take a shot on. But again, these are spike weeks for them. You're not going to see this production on a consistent basis, unfortunately. The Denver studs, as far as Justin Simmons, Alex Singleton, Josie Jewell, all kind of did their thing. Jewell just 3 solos and 2 assists, but did help with a pass defended and a forced fumble. Singleton 7 total tackles, 6 solo with a TFL and a pass defended. And Justin Simmons came away, I believe, with an interception. Yes, although just 2 tackles, so that's kind of scary. Zach Allen had a decent enough game, 11 points, 80% of snaps, got a half of a sack in this one, so that kind of helped save his day. Charles Omenihu got half of a sack on 54%, so someone else to pay attention to in your really, really deep leagues if you need a Hail Mary play. He'll be a weekly kind of Hail Mary play going forward. It was a Trent McDuffie game over L'Jarius Sneed, but both played a significant amount of snaps. Sneed at 100, McDuffie at 94%. So they're going to continue to flip flop as well. So PJ Locke is the Kareem Jackson replacement. We called that out in the written content. Plays 100% of snaps. Not much production this week, but if you're really desperate and you need a 100% snap guy, he is someone you can look towards. So I'll go to you on anyone you want to talk about here.
Yeah, so your guy Chenal there. The only problem with him is I think he'll be limited to about those snap numbers because he is more of a downhill thumper. I don't think they'll trust him that much in the passing game. So I would assume if Willie Gay misses some time, we could expect around 70-75% playing time for him, which is still good enough because he has a nose for tackles. So,
And they're sending him after the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got that sack upside.
This is a weird game where it looks like a lot of blitzing on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
What still bothers me the most out of all this is Josie Jewell and Alex Singleton swapping.
Yeah.
It's probably the right move, but it's not the one I wanted.
I know. Yeah, it's a frustrating one with that one. Maybe Jules just not at 100% health yet, and they're just continue to take it slower with him because they want him on the field at least, and they don't want to push him and lose him. So I can see that. And back to the Chenal thing, yeah, I think you could see. We were probably going to see a lot more of the 3 safety look then in replacement, and not necessarily a third or backup linebacker to Chenal. So we'll probably see Mike Edwards ramp up that playing time in addition to Justin Reed and Brian Cook there.
Right.
That would be our prediction, I think, here. So Chris Jones, a kind of a stinker with no sack, but you kind of just got to live with that. The bad with the good there.
Just another weird rivalry game. I mean, that's all. It always happens like this division game. Something weird happens with everybody. These are the weeks you just have to ride.
Mm-hmm. Michael Dana came home with a sack on one of his lowest snap counts of the year. So that is interesting. Let's hope that that's not a trend. We want to see him. He was playing like 80, 90% of snaps. So maybe just with the weird weather and, rotation going on. And this was a Karlaftis game. So he had the hot hand. But all right. Yeah.
Fabian Moreau is one I would stream. I think.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. 100% snaps, yeah.
I've heard of him more than I have the McMillan guy, so that's why I point him out. I do think.
Let's see. So McMillan's the slot guy, so that's why that's what these slot guys do when they're not like deployed as pass rushers and they're not the most talented guys. They have these lumpy production games, which McMillan had disappeared definitely last week, maybe for 2 weeks in a row. Had some kind of down games, and slot corners, depending on who they're playing, their snap counts are going to vary too. But you're right. Fabian Moreau was basically a full-time boundary corner guy to go along with Surtain. So that's why he had a nice little game there. And that, in this Denver defense could be a safer role than McMillan. So McMillan's your ceiling Hail Mary play. Moreau might be your safer floor play, depending on what you need going forward there. So, all right, the Bengals and the 49ers, kind of a surpriser here from the actual game. The Bengals, I guess, sort of upset here. So it's a Logan Wilson game, 31.6 points for 9 solos, 2 assists. He got the interception and 2 passes defended, of course, played 100% of snaps. Isaiah Oliver, the slot corner, had a really nice game, 28 points on 87% of snaps. Same thing when we just talked about, though. They are going to have these games. I wouldn't necessarily chase it, though, if they're not a slot corner who is, has these dedicated roles, as far as like using them in other ways. So this just kind of happened where things bounced his way. 7 solos, 3 assists, 2 TFLs, a pass defended, and recovered a fumble. I think he might have scooped and scored that, but I'm not 100% sure about that. But anyway, it was a really nice game. But again, probably not chasing it. Fred Warner with 19 points, 100% of snaps, doing, typical Fred Warner things. Talanoa Hufanga at 18 points, 100% on a really nice tackle game, which doesn't happen too often with him. So 8 solos, 2 assists, and nothing else. Usually we're completely flipped there with lower tackles and filled up in the splash play department. So interesting, game for him there. Arik Armstead gets 2 sacks on 76% of snaps. Would have been nice to spread that out to Nick Bosa a little bit, although Bosa did have half a sack, but like nothing else. So really getting, frustrated, close to panic time. We kept saying, like, you got to keep throwing them out there. The QB hits were there. But what are you doing with Bosa here, man?
I actually got lucky and do not have any shares of him this year.
Nice.
A lot of people took him where they should have, and I was hoping he would drop. I'm not one that goes after edge rushers early in the draft. I like to load up my linebackers. I mean, that's how it's been for me for 20 years, and it still pays off. but
understandable.
I would be panicking. Yes, this is not. I don't know what the deal is because he's getting the pressures. In fact, I think he leads in pressures in the whole league, but he is just not hitting home, and I don't know why.
100% of snaps in this one. He doesn't do that. That's like Max Crosby, and no production to go with it. With half of a sack, thank God. But had he not got that, this would have been even more of a dud. So yeah, it's panic button time. Which here at the IDP Plus podcast, we specialize in helping guys get back on track when we call them busts or say time to panic. We've done it for Kyle Hamilton. I did it last week for Derwin James. He'll be on this last game here. Had a nice bounce back game. So Nick Bosa, you stink. You're a bust. You're benched. And everybody, you're welcome. Do not bench him because he's now going to go off for 3 sacks next game if they're not on bye. I'm not sure. But
nice.
So yes, I will give it the Steve Mush touch here and say that Nick Bosa is a bust. Nick Bosa, it is panic time, and that you stink, Nick Bosa. So everybody,
they are on a bye. They're on a bye. Yeah.
Just save it. Wait for it for week 10. Don't worry. It's coming. So all of my Nick Bosa fellow managers, you're welcome. Fire him back up in week 10 and reap the monster game that is inevitably coming because he says that he stinks, much like Baron Browning, right? If he could give us a 20.2 sack game, then why the hell can't Nick Bosa when I am going to criticize him here and say that he stinks? But maybe it has to be genuine. I don't know. Because I do think Barry Browning stinks. I know that Nick Bosa doesn't stink. I just don't know what's going on with him. So Dre Greenlaw got banged up in this one, 95% of snaps, but dealing with a shoulder sprain, I believe. So that doesn't sound very good. So fire up your Oren Burks potentially. Now he does have, like you just said, the bye week to hopefully get right there, but monitor that going into your week 10 games, or grab Oren Burks if you're really worried about not having Dre Greenlaw in week 10. So Trey Hendrickson comes away with a sack and almost nothing else to save his game. Jermaine Pratt has a nice game, saved it with an interception. Deshaun Gibson had a really nice tackling game, 6 solos, 2 assists, and a TFL. So Sam Hubbard, 17 points on 83% of snaps, also got a sack in this one. So Hubbard, not usually a sack guy, comes away with one here. So Cleveland Farrell having a sack and 5 assists with nothing, no solos. 2 QB hits and forced a fumble. So that's interesting to see the former first rounder making some noise on this one. Jordan Battle played 31% of snaps. So possibly sharing some time here again with Nick Scott, down to just 66%. So we called that out a few weeks ago. Didn't really come to fruition. Maybe they're trying it again after the bye week here. So keep your eyes on that. But we said Nick Scott at this point, you don't need to bother with. Just keep your eyes on Jordan Battle. And if you want to stash a guy with, some good upside, then he might be a good player, Jordan Battle, to do that with. So I'll turn it over to you. Who do you want to talk about?
I think you pretty much nailed it. We hit Nick Bosa just being the disappointment there.
That's the big one.
It's really, really frustrating.
Yeah. There's nobody at the bottom, really.
I don't think I would rush out for Oren Burks because I don't expect Greenlaw to miss any time, especially with the bye week.
True.
My understanding is he should be back, but if you need that safety blanket, safety net, go ahead.
Gotcha.
Cam Taylor still doing solid up there. He's probably one of the best corners out there right now as far as consistency. Dax Hill, a little bit of a downer.
Still playing 100% of snaps.
Yep.
The linebackers just ate everything up in this one, I think. The 49ers weren't really able to move the ball all that well.
They need a quarterback with an arm, I think. They're starting to look like they're starting to look like the Saints out here. Just not getting it done deep. So Yeah. Come at me, 49ers fans.
I don't disagree.
Yeah. I mean, it's not looking good for him right now. Nah, I think that pretty much covers this game.
Yeah, not a whole
going on
here. All right, last one of the night: the Bears and the Chargers. Tremaine Edmonds did go down with a knee injury in this one. We talked about it at the beginning of the show. Jack Sanborn is obviously your replacement. The Cinderella story continues for Sanborn. Stinks that it's at the expense of Tremaine Edmonds because Sanborn had a really nice game here. On just 46% of snaps, he had 7 solos and 1 assist. So he's the guy that all the IDP heads talk about, like that you can punt linebacker because you can get guys like Sanborn here. So definitely a guy to go grab off waivers for sure. But TJ Edwards continues the monster season. 29 points on 93% of snaps, 9 solos, 4 assists, 2 TFLs, 2 QB hits, and a fumble recovery. Really nice game. Tyreek Stevenson also having a very nice year, playing 99% of snaps. That's got to be 10 solos, 2 assists. Yeah, 10 solos, 2 assists. Nothing else, but hey, for a corner, having all those tackles, I'll take it. Eric Hendricks bounces back with a nice game. Just 79% of snaps, though. So keep your eyes out. Might want to temper expectations there if he's not at full health yet. 9 solos, 1 assist, and a pass defended. Here's Derwin James finally with a nice little game here. Although 82% of snaps, that's kind of strange. 17.6 points, 4 solos, 1 assist, gets the interception on with the pass defended. Sunday Samuels, 17.5 points on 86%. Kenneth Murray there at 17 points on 82%. So not sure why. I guess maybe did they pull people? Like, I'm not sure why the Chargers were only in the 80s here.
Yeah, they did. They did.
Okay. So the game was in hand. I didn't catch most. This game kind of didn't really do much for me.
Chargers came out hot, lit it up, and then sometime about early of the fourth quarter, they started pulling guys.
Gotcha. So yeah, it looks like Murray and Kendricks could be very solid linebacker starts going forward. Bosa bounces back. Joey Bosa bounces back with a sack in this one. Justin Jones continues to be a pretty darn solid defensive tackle with 11 points on 61% of snaps there. So he's always a streaming option if you need a Hail Mary there. And then it really kind of dies off. Dean Marlowe went down to 24% of stats, but still had 3 solos and 2 assists. Not bad for 24%. Because I believe, did Alohi Gilman return?
Yes.
Where did he just have no production? Yeah. So Gilman returns to 98% of stats, but only a pass defended and nothing else. Now that's a little bit of the Chicago ineptitude on offense there to give that one, but it looks like Gilman is in fact back, and you can normally continue to fire him up with the usual confidence you have. Khalil Mack did nothing on 61% of snaps. Neither did my guy Tui Pelotu, the rookie, just 2 points on 55% of snaps. So a lot of top heavy production here and not a whole lot else. So yeah, I'll leave it if you want to touch on anyone.
I was expecting more sacks from the Chargers in this because of the Bears' offensive line. So Bosa only getting 1. I thought for sure Tui Pelotu would get 1. Khalil Mack might be back there. Bit surprised in that. So that's probably the biggest thing I see out of this. I know we've had a lot of people in the chats with Derwin James panicking, worried why he's not just completely going off. Well, I mean, he's a defensive back. That's what they do.
Yeah.
They don't always go off. So got saved by the interception here. It's not a great offense he played. So that's probably the biggest thing here is when you're going up against a bad offense, bad team, especially one that isn't pushing down the field, it's harder to get the safeties involved. So that's something to remember in some of these matchups.
Absolutely.
Elijah Hicks, 100% again. He just isn't worth starting.
Yeah.
He's getting playing time, and
in this one, Brisker was out and might miss multiple weeks. So I don't know. It's Hicks. Okay. It's going to be Hicks and who else? I mean, Eddie Jackson's still banged up, I guess. Like, who else do they have?
See another safety on here. Like, who else played? I don't see anybody else. Oh, Deron Harmon.
Oh, that's who it was. Okay. Deron, what a name. Yuck. That is complete desperation. Yeah.
I'm going to write that down for my desperate stack here. Yeah, hopefully you can avoid that situation altogether.
Yeah.
Jack Sanborn's probably the big guy to go with. Yeah. Kyler Gordon, a bit disappointing. This should have been a pretty good matchup, but Tyreek Stevenson looks like he got all the targets. Being the rookie, maybe they just went after him more this week.
Yeah.
So that could be something that hinders his production this year. That's it for me.
All right. So, yeah, Brisker kind of stinks that we're missing him here. But all right. Well, that brings it to that. So, I mean, the big names, right, for as far as like guys we're targeting to pay attention to, I guess our Jack Sanborn is probably one of the biggest ones because Tremaine Edmonds is going to miss time, I think. So, Sanborn, I'm trying to think of who else we talked about that is big. I mean, Jermaine Johnson, if he's available, the breakout continues. Jack Gibbons had a really solid game again as LB2. Despite the lesser snap count, he's still being extremely productive. So he's a really nice guy that still is available out there.
He's been solid all year, and the Titans get quite a bit of defensive run, so he's getting it done.
Yeah,
definitely a guy to get.
All right. Well, keep your eyes peeled for the written content. So we've got the article will be updated throughout the day tomorrow as far as written analysis for our takeaways and the waiver wire suggestions. Your charts should be available, as soon as you're getting that morning coffee and everything like that. So everything you've seen or listened to here will be up for tomorrow. And then look forward to the Start Sit article on Thursday and Friday. We're always updating and checking the matchups and things like that. So again, that stuff, as fun as this is, as helpful as I think this could be, the written content is really what you need to dive into to help you win your leagues here. So again, if you're looking to be a subscriber and have access to that content, we've got the promo code IDP +pod. 10% off any level of membership. Along with that, we're going to leave you with our awesome jingle here for Trophy Smack, our other sponsor here. If you want freaking amazing trophies, cool ass wrestling belts, or championship rings with a host of other things that they do toilet seats for your toilet champions. Like, they do so much cool, fun stuff over there to just bring a whole new perspective to your league and reinvigorate it with these trophies and these championship belts. So over at Trophy Smack. So go check that out. Shawn, what's your X Twitter handle again?
Yeah, Shawn8386.
All right. Big Shawn, go follow him. He does stuff here with us at IDP Guys, does stuff with IDP Nation. Do you help out anywhere else?
That's pretty much it.
Okay. So yeah, IDP Nation, good stuff. But Big Hollywood, and Shawn does amazing work in the written content there. Very lucky to have him as part of the team here on IDP Guys, a converted subscriber. So hey, when you use that IDP Plus pod and you're into this stuff and you want to join us here on camera, you want to see your name up written articles contributing to help other people win their leagues. We've had a number of people transition from subscribers to helping us out and doing content with us there over at the IDP Guys. So that's another really cool thing about this company that I really like. So I am Dicey Santa, signing off. We'll see you next week, and thanks for listening.
Thank you for watching this IDP Guys video. If you like this content and you want more fantasy football content, click here. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos to help you master your IDP league, click here to subscribe.